Oh, 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 oh. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. We're here reviewing Slammiversary 2014, the 12th anniversary of TNA, and boy, was it a good one. First off, before I get into the review, I honestly feel like TNA right now is doing very well with their pay-per-views. I feel like if you're not gonna sit down and watch any other shows, at least take the time to go watch the pay-per-views. I feel like you know, even if you gotta spread it out over a couple of days, like I feel like TNA really does well with their pay-per-views. Um, Starting with Lockdown early this year, then we had Sacrifice, and now Slammiversary. I feel like their pay-per-views have been really solid. I feel like usually there's been a spot where you kind of turn off a little bit. You're kind of like, it was great until this. I'm still trying to find that spot for this pay per view. Um, a lot of times it's just anything with Dixie Carter in it, but I feel as if you know Dixie Carter was in this pay per view, but you know I don't really feel like that spot was there. I did feel like it was kind of weird how the Bully Ray match ended, even though even though the victor in the match, leg lock. Even though EC3 winning that match did make me extremely excited because I feel like EC3 is going to get a push sometime soon, and I am deeply in love in no kind of weird way at all with EC3. But honestly, now let's get into this review. First off, we had the X Division title match. It was a 6 man, maybe five. It might have been 5 men. I think it was actually six because the Wolves count as two people. So it was basically a 6 man ladder match for the X Division title, and this was kind of impromptu. This was more of a surprise match. Like I didn't expect this match. In my TNA review from last Thursday for the Go Home show, I stated that there was no like X Division anything, like no X Division push. And I was hoping that there was gonna be some kind of X Division push with Sonata coming in and Tigger and stuff, people like that. Um, but they did actually have a match, and it was good to see because you know if you're gonna start, this is what I like about what TNA is doing right now. If you're gonna start a pay-per-view, you either gotta start it with the Wolves doing all their crazy tag team moves and great spots, or you gotta start it with a quote unquote spot match, which is exactly what a ladder match is. Like a ladder match is like Kofi Kingston in a Royal Rumble on crack. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have a lot of spots in a ladder match. You're gonna have weird falls, and that freaking suplex. Um, Anytime Sonata's in the ring at this point, they do this spot where Sonata gets superplexed over the rope and both of them tumble outside the ring. It looks completely ridiculous. It looks like they may die. Like one of them may land wrong, but they always seem to land in the right spot. So I guess it's pretty well done. But honestly, man, it was great to see the X Division title on the line because I think the X Division is one of the best divisions in wrestling. Period. Um, and it was great to see the X Division title on the line, even though we didn't know it beforehand, And it was a great match to start the night. There was no setup to this match, and that was pretty much my main surprise in this match. Was was that there was no main setup, and also that Crazy Steve was in this match. Crazy Steve made his TNA actually wrestling debut, so I'm actually wondering if this gonna be one of those things where Crazy Steve is actually gonna be a wrestler now, or is he just gonna kind of stay with the menagerie? It would be cool to see him, have some kind of weird moveset to go with his gimmick, his crazy clown gimmick. It would be cool to see. Maybe he's like squirts water in the person's face or something, or he has like a bunch of tricks or something like that. That would be cool, and not tricks, not the ones that are for kids, not those tricks, but the the little clown tricks that they do at the circuses and stuff. That would be cool to see if they did that. You know, the people that were in this match, first off, I guess it's kind of second, third, maybe fourth off. But anyway, the people that were in this match, though, you had Manic, Sonata, Crazy Steve, Eddie Edwards, Dave Richards, and Tigre Uno. Yes, you did have both of the Wolves in this, sing, kind of like a single side match. So it was cool to see them kind of be like singles competitors, but then again, they worked together a lot in this match. Um, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Crazy Steve. I don't know who you guys feel that Crazy Steve reminds you of, but when I see Crazy Steve do anything, he reminds me of Eugene. I don't know if you guys remember the old Eugene. I think he was actually supposed to be like, it was he had some kind of weird gimmick for WWE where he was like mentally retarded. I'm pretty sure, or something like that. He was like, there was something wrong with his mind. Um, and Crazy Steve reminds me of Eugene, like just his mannerisms, especially when he gets in the ring with that weird, like he can't get in the ring straight. He has to like go in backwards and fall, like it's one of those things. Um, there was a nice spot in this match though where um, the Wolves were doing a tag team move, and it was a power bomb into a backcracker. That looked really cool, even though the way Davey Richards was holding his knee, it looked like he like broke his kneecap or something. It was crazy. And probably if you hit your knee on the wrong part of someone's backbone, you're probably gonna be in a lot of pain. My first thought, I don't know if it was my first thought, but I was thinking throughout this match, like, where was DJZ? Z Marion is one of those great X Division wrestlers, but it actually turned out to work out for later on in the show. Yeah, because I really was like, where's DJZ? He was just in the X Division title match not too long ago, so where is he now? I don't understand why he's not there. But I mean, when he was in a match later, so it did make sense that he wasn't in this match too. There was also a power bomb onto a bridge ladder, which I don't know if you guys get to go and watch the Sacrifice pay per view maybe after this, or maybe if you ever go watch it again or something, you have to see this power bomb onto that ladder. It looked like it about killed Tigre Uno, dude. What? Wait, was it Tigre Uno? Who was it? Can't remember right offhand, but I'm pretty sure it was Tigre Uno who actually received the power bomb. And it looked ridiculous. It was great though, dude. It really was. I did think the ending was weird though, because honestly, Sonata was climbing up the ladder, but he was at the top, and Eddie Edwards was pulling his leg, but he still got the belt, which was kind of weird that Eddie Edwards didn't try to kind of go after it a little more. We have the tag team title, so we don't have to worry. The howl and everything. But but honestly, overall, that was a great opener. The ladder match. Anytime you have like a spot match like that, or anything with the Wolves in it, regardless, is probably going to be a good opener, and probably what you should open with, honestly. It got the crowd really excited. The crowd was really excited about this match. The only thing is, man, there was some crazy Steve chants, which was really cool to hear, and also, the only thing I like Sonata because he has a lot of talent. The only thing about Sonata is I don't think the crowd is going to actually be able to get behind him. Um, you know, he doesn't talk much, and I don't even know. I'm not sure. I think he knows English. I don't know right offhand, but I mean, I just don't think the crowd can get behind him. With the "Let's Go Goku" chant they were chanting at Sacrifice and all of that. I'm glad we didn't hear any of that tonight, but I just don't think the crowd can get behind someone who doesn't talk. it's kind of like the whole Bobby Lashley thing, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. You know, how Bobby Lashley just doesn't speak. But Sonata does win that match, and he does retain the X Division title. I'm hoping we get some more, maybe even some more build up for Sonata, so the crowd can get behind him. You know, they really don't have much to get behind if you don't speak. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you think about, you know, think about Kenny King, think about the MVPs and stuff like that. You know, why are they so big as heels? Because they say things. You know what I mean? They say different stuff. Um, Next we had basically this was the setup to a triple threat steel cage match for the World Heavyweight title. We were actually, you know, us as TNA fans were expecting, or anyone who was actually coming in to watch the pay per view and just kind of knew like a slight bit of background, you know, we realized that it was going to be MVP versus Eric Young for the World Heavyweight title in a steel cage because it was going to keep the odds even. Keep the odds even. That sounded weird, but I mean, MVP comes out, and we could tell from the beginning of the show something was wrong with MVP. It looked like he was on crutches. You know, it was dark where they were doing the backstage segment, but we could, you know, if you looked at it, you could tell something was wrong with MVP. And it turns out he has a torn meniscus. I don't know if this is just a work. I don't know. I mean, it could be like a minor injury, and they're just working it a little bit more than you know before. But I don't feel like it's a work because if you noticed, if you guys did get to watch the Impact Wrestling that just recently passed, MVP did not wrestle in that last match, which for one was weird to me, but for two was not really too weird because you know they obviously were gonna let Eric Young pick the stipulation, and it obviously was gonna be a steel cage match. But you also have to think, you have to go back and think, he did not wrestle in that match at all. Like he pretty much just beat Eric Young with a chair, and that was pretty much the whole spot there. I mean, and I honestly feel like Kenny King and actually I can't I can't remember right offhand. I'm pretty sure he didn't wrestle. If he wrestled any, it wasn't a lot in that match. I'm pretty sure he didn't wrestle a lot in that match because he pretty much got disqualified pretty soon, like relatively soon. But it makes sense that you know they would set it up as a steel cage match and then have to change it like just offhand because you honestly have to think about it in this way. You honestly have to think about it as you know, everyone knows that TNA is taped. You know what I mean? Everyone knows that it's taped weeks and weeks and weeks in advance. That's why they can tell you at the end of the show, next week on TNA, this is what's going to happen. They didn't necessarily say that after this week, but you know, because I don't think I'm pretty sure the pay-per-views are live, but the actual TNA Impact shows aren't live. They're taped in advance, weeks and weeks and weeks in advance, and then they show them on Thursday. But you know, the thing about it is, like, they couldn't really change it then because they would have to go in and like edit the whole video, and you know, it would just be weird that way. So I think it was pretty cool. You know, it kind of caught some of the fans by surprise as well to see that we were gonna have something different. But I was honestly thinking, was was this triple threat match gonna be better than an MVP versus Eric Young match in a steel cage? And not because I don't like the talent of MVP or Eric Young. I'm just thinking, you know, all let me not ruin it for you yet, okay? But I'm thinking Austin Aries or Bobby Lashley or Samoa Joe or Kenny King, like all four of those guys have tremendous talent. So to see them in the ring with Aries Young, who also has tremendous talent, like you know, you can't complain. You know what I mean? You know, it won't be anything but great. But back to the MVP segment. You know, the three members of that faction came out, and they were pretty much talking. You know, I feel like Kenny King, it, his personality fits so well that I love what he does on the mic. You know, he was bashing the Cowboys and everything, dude. it was pretty great. But you know, when I just, Kenny King, his character matches what seems like what matches a realistic character that you could actually see him being in real life. This cocky, kind of a hothead type of person. You could see that being Kenny King in real life. And then that's the good thing about Kenny King's gimmick right now, the King of the Night type of thing. And I was like, of course, Bobby Lashley says nothing. Lack of mic skills, Bobby Lashley says nothing during this segment. Really. Honestly, though, I was like, really, Bobby Lashley, why can't you say anything? I mean, this is the thing about it. You know, if you want, you know, every TNA critic wants to compare TNA to WWE all the time. They want to say they're copying WWE every single moment they can. And even if they can't, they will anyway. So, and this is my thing. People want to compare, okay, so people want to compare TNA, TNA, this faction they have now, to Evolution. They want to say, well, this is just Black Evolution. Okay, let's think about it though. Current day Evolution, at least Triple H, Batista, and Randy Orton can speak on the mic. They actually speak. Bobby Lashley never does, and I don't understand it. And if he does, he's like, yeah. like it's pretty much like one word, two words, maybe. Like, it's ridiculous, dude. He just freaking goes straight to the ring, doesn't say anything at all. I'm like, how did they really expect him to get over with, you know, with no heel? He can't get heel heat. I mean, the only way he can get heel heat is by association. I mean, he's not gonna get heel heat because of talking, because he doesn't talk. But next we had Bobby Lashley versus Samoa Joe. That was right after the MVP Kenny King and Bobby Lashley segment. I guess just MVP Kenny King kind of. It was him versus Joe, and I love that TNA a lot of times does pander to the crowd, especially at their live shows. Especially, I mean, and if you think about it, a lot of it is live. You know, with the fans actually there. Depending on what the fans say. A lot of it's reactionary and stuff like that. So, it's nice to see, like, how they were pandering to the crowd and stuff like that. Lashley actually had new music and a new Titantron tonight. Um, only thing different about the Titantron is instead of the gears turning or whatever, it's just Bobby Lashley in the background, multiples of him just jumping up and down. Like, it's nothing special. And it says Lashley, like, so that's pretty much all it is. Um, Pretty much Bobby Lashley won this match. At this point, my screen was going like in and out the whole time, so I really didn't get to see the Bobby Lashley match. Um, I really didn't get to see much of the Bobby Lashley match or the Willow versus Magnus match. I do know that Lashley did win by a spear though. I was actually surprised to see Lashley win. I thought maybe it would be Samoa Joe and Kenny King go on. I was surprised to see Lashley win though. But obviously you gotta think, if Lashley wins the first match, I don't think they're gonna allow, Kenny King's not gonna win the second match. As good as Kenny King is, they're not gonna put two MVP guys in there with Eric Young and make it a handicap match. Plus, that would be too much of an underdog storyline. Like Eric Young's already listed as the underdog anyway. So, especially considering he's defending his title in a triple threat match that he didn't even know about. But then again, if they put him in a pretty much a handicap match with Kenny King and Bobby Lashley, like, it's not even gonna be worth it. You know what I mean? Like, once again, they're gonna get, well, he's just like Daniel Bryan. You know what I mean? They're just gonna compare it. I mean, so, you know. But Bobby Lashley did win this, so he would go on to be in the main event. Next we have Willow versus Magnus. Like I said, I did not get to see much of this match. I didn't get to see Willow's entrance or anything. I did think, the only thing I really got to see was Bram, and his hair wasn't wet this time, and I was confused. I was like, is that Bram? Like, because, I'm just so used to seeing Bram's hair wet regardless. But, it wasn't really wet this time, so it was kind of weird to see. It was all like staticky and stuff. It was, I mean, yeah, I guess it was all, it was just all dry. It was just weird that way. It was just kind of weird seeing him. There was a new Willow mask though, and you may be thinking, so new Willow mask, whoopee, but it was a it was a gold Willow mask. For one, it's a change, so that's always good. Anytime you see a change in a little bit of a change in an attire, that's always good to see. But this is the thing that got me though. Abyss came out with Willow because it was announced on the Thursday episode of Impact, but they both had on gold, which struck me as being really interesting because, like I said, TNA has a lack of tag teams, so Willow and Abyss could possibly work out. Two kind of contrasting styles, but then again, two relatable characters at this point. Willow's kind of the unpredictable person, to where Abyss is the monster. The uncontrollable monster. So they're relatable, but they're completely opposites as well as far as um, the way they work in the ring. Um, I didn't get to watch this match so much that I don't. Oh yeah, actually Magnus did win this match, and I think Magnus actually hit a finishing move this time. I haven't seen Magnus hit a finishing move since he debuted in TNA. No, I mean I haven't seen Magnus hit a finishing move since like the main event Mafia 2.0 days or whatever. So, and I don't even remember what it was then. So I didn't even get to see it. That's the thing. Like it was going in and out at that point too, so I didn't get to see it. I just noticed that Magnus won. So be interested to see what they're gonna do with the Magnus Abyss partnership. Just break it up like I mean not Magnus Abyss, the Willow and Abyss partnership. Be interested to see what they're gonna do with that. They'll probably just break it up like the Abyss and Magnus partnership. No, I hope not. I actually hope they turn it into a tag team. That would be good. Next we had the 2014 inductees to the TNA Hall of Fame. Inducted by Kurt Angle, and Kurt Angle seemed to be walking pretty well. It was also going a little in and out during his entrance, so I didn't get to see it. But from what I could tell, he looked like he was walking pretty well. But he inducted um, a tag team, but it was kind of a surprising tag team. It couldn't be American Most Wanted, couldn't be Beer Money at this point. I mean, it couldn't be, Gunstorm, So, but it ended up being actually Team 3D. And I didn't even know that Devon was still in TNA, actually. So it was cool to see Devon back. Oh, my brother testified. They had a nice segment with Team 3D, kind of bringing back the old days with Team 3D, the Dudleys. To whom it may, whoever, whatever you call them, you know what I mean? Great to see them back in the ring together. Oh, I was wondering what I wrote. I was like, what in the world did I write? Sometimes I cannot read my own handwriting, but TNA fans were really hyped for Team 3D, which was great to see as well. Like, it's always fun to see the TNA fans act, be hyped because there's so many TNA haters out there. I watch TNA for the wrestling. You know what I mean? And I mean, storyline too. Like, I watch TNA for the product. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of times people get really picky about it, and you know, as soon as you start comparing every single thing you see to try to compare every single thing you see as a copy of WWE, then you're probably not gonna like it because you know, the funny part is you probably can compare anything TNA has right now to the WWE. I mean, you can compare the Menagerie, you can compare anything. Like, you know what I mean? It's tough to come up with new ideas when you've had a company be around for 20, 30 years before you. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, it's tough. Like, It's gonna be tough for them. But next we have the Kenny King Austin Aries match. The biggest spot from this match. I mean, I thought this was a pretty great match. Kenny King and Austin Aries, two of the most talented superstars in TNA right now. Um, I feel as if these guys are two of the most talented guys, and they can cut pretty good promos as well, just with their personality. But the Austin Aries did win this match with a brainbuster from the top turnbuckle, which was pretty ridiculous. If you get to go back and watch anything from that match, you should watch the ending to this match where he did hit the brainbuster from the top turnbuckle, and obviously when he hit that, it was it. Um, the Von Erichs versus the Bromans was the next match, and the Von Erichs is it's one. This was like I thought it was a gimmick match, but then again I thought about it. I was like, maybe the Von Erichs are pretty young. The the uh, the father is older, and I think he's like a Texas native, so like the crowd was really hyped for the Von Erichs tonight. So it'd be cool to see if maybe they do something with a tag team with them. I don't know if they are or not. They're gonna do maybe a tag team with the Von Erichs as well, considering once again TNA has no tag team, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if they were gonna actually be in TNA or if this was just a gimmick match, to once again hype up the crowd, hype up that Texas crowd. So basically they fought against the Bromans, but it wasn't Jesse and Robbie E this time. It was Jesse and DJZ, which made more sense to why DJZ was not in the X Division title match early on, because he had to fight for Robbie E. I don't know where Robbie E was. I don't know if he was hurt or um, I don't know what was going on, but I love DJZ every time he gets in the ring. Bah, 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 bah. Like his character is great. I love the actual like the hairspray character where he used to just spray hairspray all over his hair like anytime he ever came down to the ring. I guess TNA got a lawsuit for air pollution, so they stopped doing that and they turned him into DJZ and he doesn't use the hairspray anymore. But you know DJZ, I like DJZ. He's got a lot of talent. I feel like TNA has a lot of guys with a lot of young guys, especially with great talent. Um, it's much criticism as they get. I feel like they're doing a great job at building up these young people. Um, that's why I said I love to see some of the people that WWE recently released. Love to see them in TNA. Maybe not all of them, but you know what I mean. Like, Drew McIntyre would be a great one to see in TNA. I feel like Drew McIntyre never. I mean, maybe during the Chosen One era, never he got his chance, but I feel like basically he got buried after that. 3MB, that was pretty much it. Heath Slater's gonna be the man there. One man band, baby. But the Von Erichs actually did win this one. It was by DQ actually. But I was wondering if this was their debut. I think it was smart for TNA to do debut in Texas. It gets them really over, especially with the Texas crowd, and a lot of wrestling fans, you know, kind of like things based off the crowd sometimes. So I think it was smart for them to debut in Texas, debut in their hometown, debut where their father was made famous. So that was great. Um, Next we had Gail Kim versus Angelina Love for the Knockouts title. I mean, at least all I can say is at least Angelina Love did not win by hairspray this time. All I can say. Um, but honestly though, man, I feel as if there was a botched bulldog in this. It was like an inverted bulldog where it was kind of a neck breaker type thing. But Gail Kim landed on her butt and then her back, which was weird. Don't know how that happened. But pretty much the main storyline with this match is that Stifler is pretty much a terrible rep. I feel like they're going some type of crooked ref storyline here. Basically, what happened was Earl Hebner came down to the ring and he was like, "Stifler, get out. I'm gonna do the rest of this match." Gail Kim accidentally kicks Earl Hebner. Earl Hebner's down, and Stifler. Gail Kim has Angelina Love rolled up, and Stifler doesn't count for her. He sees her obviously, but doesn't count for her. But then when Angelina Love rolls up Gail Kim, he gets in immediately and counts for her. So I feel like there's going to be some kind of crooked referee storyline. I mean, since we want to make WWE comparisons, I guess they're going to turn him into Brad Maddox. He's going to turn into the general manager of TNA. He's going to do something. He's going to do something stupid. As far as MVP being the authority figure goes, and then he's going to get fired and eviscerated by the demon Abyss. So that's pretty much what's going to happen. Pretty much. All the WWE, all the TNA haters are writing that down right now. So he's going to get eviscerated, and it's going to be by Abyss. And then we're going to get to criticize TNA for being exactly like WWE, even though, kind of hard to. No, but honestly though, man, I mean, I guess they're just starting a crooked ref storyline with that. I don't think he's going to turn into Brad Maddox. I don't know what they're going to do with this, honestly. Next we had EC3 versus Bully Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, EC3 won this match. And I was as surprised as anyone. I am pretty much loving EC3 right now. I actually got a chance to watch some of his stuff in WWE before he came to TNA. And, ever since I watched his stuff in WWE and I watched his stuff in TNA, I'm like, I liked him ever since he debuted. But, ever since I, researched him a little bit, looked back on his history some, especially considering I heard, because I looked up his name and I was like, I wonder who this guy is, because, I was like, I couldn't tell it looked familiar, but I was like, I wonder who this guy is. So I looked him up, I was like, Derek Bateman, that sounds really familiar, and I saw some of his WWE NXT stuff, and then I got really excited, for EC3. I was already excited before, him in the patented leg lock, no leg locks locked in today, though. This was a Texas death match, and I didn't know what a Texas death match was. I thought it was just, pretty much Extreme Rules and you pin them, pin and give up, whatever. But turns out it was pretty much a last man standing match in Texas, pretty much. I mean, you could do pretty much anything. I mean, there were cheese graters used. I was like, not the cheese grater. He's a Carter. The world needs him, okay? Seriously though, like, not the cheese grater to the chest. That brought back some like old ECW memories when I used to take the cheese grater just across the head. Oh man. There were some actually surprising EC3 chants here tonight, which was surprising. There was no Spud neck brace tonight. Spud was involved in this match, of course. Anything with EC3, Spud and Dixie are gonna have to get involved. So you had Spud come out with this ridiculous suit once again. Like, I don't know where he gets these suits from. He has like a new suit every night. How much money is that man getting paid? I feel like they just take a chunk out of his paycheck. They just pay him a little extra to get a suit, and that's it. They're like, get a suit, be yourself, you're good. You know what I mean? That's pretty much all Rockstar Spud has to do at this point. But actually, there was a Dallas Cowboys trash can out there. No, there were no Cowboys players in there. To all you guys who think the Cowboys are trash, me included. I'm not a big fan of the Cowboys, but there was a Cowboys trash can out there. And none of those Cowboy players were in that trash can or anything. But there was a Cowboys trash can out there, and there was broken glass in it. Because EC3 stuck his hand in there, he was like, ow, what was that? And he looked in there and he poured the glass out. I don't know what EC3 was about to do, but EC3 jumps off the turnbuckle. I thought he was going to go for maybe a leg drop or something. maybe even the Mantastic right onto the glass, which would have been a ridiculous spot if they could have pulled that off. But actually, he ended up getting Bubba Cuttered into the glass, which was redonkulous. Like, it was ridiculous to see. Um, there was actually a couple of times. There was actually one time in this match I did think Dixie Carter was going through a table. She was out there interfering, as he seems to do in every Bully Ray match at this time. And it. There was actually, I actually thought she was gonna get put through a table, like, because EC3 was down for a while. So I was like, if she gets put through a table, bro, like, I'm just gonna just fall in love with TNA. If they put, if TNA has the balls to put a woman through a table, in this era of wrestling, like, bro, I mean, I really don't think it's gonna happen because that's really tough to do without getting like strikes or what. You know what I mean? I feel like the public would get mad about it, even in storyline context. But if she somehow goes through a table, it's gonna be the most ridiculous thing I've seen. And you gotta remember, Bully has all those tables with people's names on them, but only one person went through it, and that's been Spud. Um, but there was also a EC3 does the headlock driver. I don't know if he still calls it the Mantastic. I know he used to call it the Mantastic when he was in WWE, so he may still actually call it the Mantastic. I don't know if that's copyrighted by WWE or not. But he actually did that. Bully Ray exposed the wooden boards underneath the ring, underneath the actual the mat, and he hit the headlock driver right on those wooden boards, which was really cool. Um, but pretty much what happened, I really thought this match kind of ended kind of weird. Um, you know, started off with Spud coming down and trying to hit Bully Ray with a kendo stick. Bully Ray wasn't having it. So, Bully Ray just beat the crap out of Spud, like Spud kind of always happens to Spud. Dixie Carter was on the table. Dixie Carter was on the table. Bully Ray was about to jump on her through the table and put her through the table. And EC3 hits him with a kendo stick and he falls off through the table. But Rockstar Spud, here, the heroic Rockstar Spud saves the day for Dixie Carter. And Bully Ray's out for the 10 count. The only thing that was weird about this was, I guess EC3, I mean, EC3 sometimes, like, EC3 is like he's like chiseled out of stone or something. But I guess EC3 shot with a kendo stick was a lot harder than Spud's, because Spud's didn't hurt Bully Ray. But EC3's knocked him through a table. Put it through a table! You know. So EC3 did win this match, which surprised me like crazy, dude. I was really surprised to see that EC3 won this Texas Death Match. I was hoping EC3 would go over Bully Ray, but I was like, I don't even think there's any way he goes over Bully Ray. But I thought that was a really good match. After that, we had Mr. Anderson versus James Storm. The biggest moment of this was James Storm. There were Cowboys players in the that were actually fans in attendance, and James Storm was fussing with him already at the beginning. Talking about I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, which is nothing to brag about. James Storm. You being a Tennessee Titans fan and all. I mean, that's nothing to brag about. Let's be honest. You can talk bad about the Cowboys all you want to, but you gotta at least be 8-8 before you can talk about the Cowboys, okay? He was talking trash about the Cowboys. Pretty much he had the beer in his mouth, and he spits it at one of the Cowboys players. I don't remember which one exactly it was, and it actually looked like this was legit. Like, it looked like, James Storm just kind of calculated it, and he was going to do it and see how the reaction was. But the security held the player back. The player looked legit, like he was about to beat the crap out of James Storm. But the player held the player held the Cowboys football team pretty much back. and there was like four of them. He held them back, and then at the end of the match, the Cowboys player came up and he kind of like tugged at James Stone's leg. James Stone looks over, and then Mike check out of nowhere by Mr. Anderson, and that's the end of that match. There wasn't much of this match. Um, there wasn't really much to speak of in this match. It was a pretty good match though. I liked it. Next we had the main event of the evening. Ding, ding, ding. I don't know where the slow I don't remember the slow bell ring tonight. I actually like it when they do that. It's a unique thing that TNA does. I'm pretty sure other companies do it too, but from the two I see obviously on TV, TNA, they do the slow bell ring for the main event, which is cool. But next we had the triple threat steel cage match, for the TNA World Heavyweight Title. It was announced that this would be only only pinfall and submission. So I think that was actually a better option than an escape the cage, because the thing about escaping the cage is, I feel like this took a triple threat match to a whole nother level. It's kind of hard to isolate someone with a cage around them. I was actually surprised MVP or Kenny King did not get involved in this match at all. That was surprising. EY brought back the old school Eric Young with the Death Valley Driver. He had both Bobby Lashley and Austin Aries on top of his shoulders, showing his strength. You look at Eric Young, you don't look at him as really a really strong guy and all, but EY took him up, both of them. He took both of them up for a Death Valley Driver, which was great to see. I hope he brings that move back. I love the Death Valley Driver, and he hits it so well. Even on two of them, he hit it so well. There was also an elbow from the top of the cage by EY. EY has the best elbow drop in the business. Like, he puts his all heart, soul, might, E and the Y in it. You know what I mean? He puts the ELBOW in that mug. Like, it's great to see how much passion EY has for the for wrestling, man. Bobby Lashley went for a spear on EY and missed it and hit his head on the cage and went and fell outside the ring. That looked really bad. Like it looked like it actually really hurt him. He was out for a while too. The good part of this was the best part about this match for me. I came into this match thinking I really don't think EY is gonna lose, because EY still has to feud with MVP. MVP does not believe in EY, right? MVP does not believe in EY. So it makes sense that, EY's probably going to win this match. The best part about this match, though, there were moments in this match where you thought probably there was a possibility that Bobby Lashley would win this match, or Austin Aries may possibly win this match. This is the thing, though. EY did come out in this match with a power driver to Austin Aries that was sold very well. This is the thing about it, though. EY is still your World Heavyweight Champion. This is the tough part about it to me. EY is still the World Heavyweight Champion. But the thing that's tough for me is, if let's say, I'm thinking way down the road. Hopefully, I'm thinking, let's say MVP wins the title, or let's say Kenny King, probably Bobby Lashley before Kenny King. Let's say Bobby Lashley wins the title, right? Excuse me. Let's say Bobby Lashley wins the title. I really don't want the group to break up because someone other than MVP wins the title. Because that would be too much like Evolution. Actually, that would be exactly like Evolution. And people would be upset about it, even though that happened years and years ago. You know what I mean? That would be exactly like Evolution. I don't think that's the way they should do it. I'm just, I'm just thinking, you know, I'm just thinking about that, like, you know, what's gonna happen if Kenny King all by election wins the title? Is MVP gonna be upset? Is he gonna be, you know, supported? You know, MVP greedy. You know, what I guess you could say he's probably the biggest heel in the company. Anytime you screw over slash, you know, show disrespect to the most over guy in the company, maybe second most over behind Bully Ray as a face. You know, you're gonna get heel heat. You know what I mean? Um, but you know, I honestly feel like this was another solid debut for TNA. I feel like honestly, guys, if you guys aren't gonna watch anything else that TNA ever puts out, you should watch the pay per view. I just feel like they've done a very good job with the pay per view. Ever since MVP's come in, like I've just been really enjoying TNA. I didn't take a break from TNA per se, but I didn't get to watch it as much as I would have liked during the Aces and Eights era. Um, I didn't even know much about Aces and Eights, and I actually think that probably was a pretty good storyline. You know, I kind of caught it on and off, so I was kind of here, there, everywhere with TNA at that point. I still liked it. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't get to watch it. You know, I was watching other stuff, and I wasn't really watching TNA. But man, I feel like you know TNA is really doing good with these pay per views. I mean, I'm loving the TNA Impact shows. Um, but honestly, man, I feel like TNA's doing tremendous with these pay per views. This is the third great pay per view I've seen from TNA, and I've been loving it. Man, I think there's been a lot of pretty good pay per views from in wrestling this year. Obviously WrestleMania, like ridiculous, shocking, everything. And then you got, you know, I don't know why this isn't listed as TNA's biggest pay per view of the year. You would think it would be because it's their anniversary. You know, that's what we live for, our anniversary. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's one of the best parts about getting married, your anniversary. You know, another year, another year, another year. It's just, you know, I always coined Slammiversary as the biggest pay per view of the year, but they always said that it was Bound for Glory, which is weird because you know Bound for Glory has no meaning to it. You know, Slammiversary in the name, there's meaning already. It's your anniversary of when you guys came together, or somewhat around that time. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like Slammiversary should be the biggest pay per view of the year. Like, and they should coin it that way. They shouldn't say Bound for Glory is our biggest pay per view of the year. I mean, anniversary or just another pay per view. You know what I mean? Like, but guys, I'll see you guys later. I hope you guys enjoyed the. First off, I hope you guys enjoyed the pay per view. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do you have anything to say? Put it in the comment section, cause I want to hit. Well, I want to read it, and I'll read it out loud so I can hear it. Something like that. Anyway, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. EC3. Oh, 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 oh. See you guys.